ప్రతి సీజన్లోనూ ప్రేమ కథలు చూస్తుంటాం, కానీ ప్రేమను డిఫైన్ చేసే లవ్ స్టోరీస్ చాలా తక్కువగా వస్తాయి. అలాంటి కథలు వచ్చినప్పుడు ఆడియన్స్ వాటిని మోస్ట్ మెమరబుల్ లవ్ స్టోరీస్గా లైఫ్ లాంగ్ గుర్తుపెట్టుకుంటారు. అలాంటి క్వాలిటీస్ ఉన్న ఫిల్మ్ సప్త సాగరాలు దాటి. తెలుగు ఆడియన్స్కి దగ్గర కాబోతున్న ఈ ఫిల్మ్ గురించి మాట్లాడటానికి రక్షిత్ అండ్ వసంత్ రుక్మిణి ఉన్నారు. హాయ్ అండి. హాయ్. తెలుగు తెలుస్తుందా?
అర్థం అవుతుంది, కానీ when I'm speaking I'm little slow.
పూర్తిగా అర్థమవుతుంది?
I think almost.
మీకు సార్?
సేమ్ సార్.
అర్థమవుతుంది. ఓకే. సార్, ఎవ్రీ ఫిల్మ్ మీకు తెలుగులో రిలీజ్ అవుతుంది. అంటే కిరాక్ పార్టీ రీమేక్ అయింది, ఆ తర్వాత ఎవ్రీ ఫిల్మ్ కూడా తెలుగులో రీమేక్ అవుతుంది, డబ్ అవుతుంది. ఎలాంటి కనెక్షన్ ఎస్టాబ్లిష్ అయింది తెలుగు ఆడియన్స్తో మీకు?
I keep saying this, that this is the land of cinema, and I am a complete cinema lover. So
very true.
So whenever I come here, I feel this is like, home.
Okay,
in many ways, because I mean, this what else can a filmmaker ask for, right? The kind of audience what we find here, where cinema is a culture, and you want to watch one film every week.
Yes.
That's just beautiful.
Cinema is a celebration for us.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll celebrate every moment with
Cinema.
Yes.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yes, sir. Sir, every subject of you is very different and out of the box ideas. What is the process, sir? You select the stories and get into the character. Your body language is also different from every
Each film,
movie.
I make sure that I find the character in a certain way where it is very different from the characters I have played before. And as an artist, I want to explore that, right from body language, the way I feel inside when I play that character, to the way I look, playing that character. And few characters have a lot of confidence inside them. Few characters do not have that confidence inside them. So all this matters to me. And also, in a lot of ways, I try to find the difference between me and the character, and the similarities between me and the character, and what the character journey, what every character goes through, and what are the learnings he finds in that journey. So I keep asking myself if I have found it in my life as Rakshit. So for me, it is a very spiritual process. That way, that as a human, if I have to grow, and since I love cinema so much, if I have to grow as a human, then cinema is the only way I can find, because for me there is no life other than cinema. So yeah,
this is the book and philosophy for you.
Yeah.
Super. So lot of appreciations from your character Priya. How much hard work do you done for this movie, and what is the process getting to the Priya character?
So to get into the character, sir, I had a lot of in-depth conversations with Hemant, our director, Hemant Emrao. We had a workshop to begin with before we started shooting for the film. Hemant had organized a workshop for Rakshit and me. Primarily, it was an icebreaker sort of workshop, but also we had a lot of discussions about not necessarily about the character, but about the lives of the character before you see them on the screen. Because in this film, that relationship is already established. They are already a couple, and there are certain details you need to know about that character, about those characters, before you start filming, to establish that chemistry between the two actors. So we did a lot of that helped me. But as an actor, I write a lot. So if there's a specific...
You asked a lot also during the shoot.
Sorry?
During the shoot, you asked a lot.
Yeah. I like asking a lot of questions. I like understanding that kind of thing. But
Troubling Hemant.
I hope I was not troubling him, but I'm sure there must have been some moments where he would have just been like, it's okay, let me handle this. No, but I like to write a lot in the scene, what is happening, why that, because the scenes are written.
You prepare your own notes?
I do, but I always I check with the director because he will write the scene. In the scene, the character starts here, it ends here. The reason for why it goes like that is something the actor can bring. So I would, if I had an idea for why that change happens, I would go ask Hemant, and if it makes sense to him, if I had his blessing, then I would continue to write about it for myself. That's just the kind of actor I am.
థియేటర్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ ఏమన్నా ఉందా? థియేటర్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ హ్యావ్ యూ?
Oh no, no. I'm trained as a theatre actor, so I was doing.
Foundation was very strong.
I don't know about very strong, but there is a foundation there. I was trained in acting. Yeah.
How much you related to Priya?
I don't know. Honestly, because the character is written with such depth that whether or not I related didn't matter, because Hemant had given me so much information. And
Some మీకు రివ్యూస్ చూస్తుంటే you behave like a Priya, you not acting like a Priya.
Yeah.
I saw some of comments, so that's why I'm asking. You are involving like a Priya, involved like a Priya.
I think that also comes from the director and the kind of support you get from your co-actor. There's a lot of the kind of support and realness he gives from his performance. It only allows me to give more from my performance.
సార్ మీ మూవీస్ చూస్తే ఒక మొమెంట్లో ఉండవు, త్రూ లైఫ్ గురించి ఏదో డిస్కస్ చేస్తూ ఉండు. అంటే చార్లీ చూసుకున్నా అంటే ఒక సిచ్యువేషన్ బేస్డ్, లేకపోతే ఒక షార్ట్ టర్మ్ ప్లాన్స్ ఉండవు, ఒక లైఫ్ గురించి ఎక్కడో చోట ఒక టోటాలిటీ గురించి మీరు మాట్లాడుతూ ఉంటారు. అది కాన్షియస్గా తీసుకునే స్టోరీస్ అలా అవుతున్నాయా, లేకపోతే కోఇన్సిడెంట్స్గా అలా దొరుకుతుంది? అంటే ఈ సినిమా కూడా అంతే, త్రూ అవుట్ లైఫ్ ఉంటుంది.
I think it's not just a conscious decision. It also depends on the kind of people I have around me, or the team which I have built throughout this in last 10 years. And I believe that every cinema should, by the end of it, it should make you think. It should not teach you something, but it should make you think. So that's the background I come from when it comes to cinema. Yeah.
Cinema is the entertainment business.
Yeah.
First you have to entertain, then we tell philosophy, all those things.
Yes.
But nicely you mixed entertainment with human emotions. You balanced it like a pro.
That's very important, no? Because entertaining is very important, because without entertainment, obviously people don't come to theaters.
Don't come to theatre.
Yeah, and keeping philosophy in the background.
It's very difficult in nowadays. Okay, we are seeing lot of bloodsheds చూస్తున్నాం స్క్రీన్లో. ఇప్పుడు బాక్స్ ఆఫీస్ సినిమాలు అంటేనే సో ఫైట్స్, లేకపోతే ఒక మ్యాసివ్నెస్ కనిపించే సినిమాలు ఎక్కువ చూస్తున్నాం. వాటి మధ్యలో ఇలాంటి సెన్సిబుల్ స్టోరీస్తో మీరు సక్సెస్ అవ్వటం అనేది ఇట్స్ నాట్ ఏ ఈజీ థింగ్. ఎలా గట్స్ ఏంటి వాటి గురించి చెప్పండి.
I believe good cinema will always find its path.
Always find.
Yeah. Sometimes it might not find its path in the theatre, and probably it might find path somewhere else. But I believe at least I've built a market for myself in last 10 years. That
Whole empire.
So I don't have to wait till the film is out of theatre and then it finds its true value. So yeah, I'm confident because of the love and because of the trust what people have in me, because of the profile what I've created for myself until now.
Cinema people have to thank to you because of you are delivering such a nice concepts, and like Charlie, Sapta Sagaralu Dhaati. Without you, it couldn't happen. Because of your initiation only, we can see these films on screen. What do you think about it?
I mean, that is for myself also. I do it for myself as well. So there is a lot of selfishness also in it. This is how I.
Initiation, first who is the hero, then it will start production.
Yeah.
Yes,
No.
First initiation.
In the sense, I believe nobody should be bigger than cinema.
Yes, always. But we have hero initiation is the most important in commercial way.
Yeah.
If you are not there in this movie, it would be like that in different
in the
way.
sense, see, when I initially started my career and I made Ulidaru Kandante, I was not a big star that people would come irrespective of what he does. I'll go and watch it. But that film found its true credibility today. Because of that film, I'm getting to make Richard Anthony in such a big scale. But now I'm in a position where people will come because there is a trust that this guy will do something, at least whether I like it or not, as a cinema, or whether what they have done is that particular subject caters to me or not. That is a different thing. But it's not going to be bad, and the whole team is going to give 100% towards the cinema. So the audience is not taken for granted anywhere. As long as that trust is there, I think every actor should build that, I believe.
ఇప్పుడు మీరు చేస్తున్న సినిమాలు అంటే ఇప్పుడు సినిమాటోగ్రఫర్ అద్వైత కానీ, చరణ్ కానీ, హేమంత్ కానీ, వీళ్ళ వర్క్ అవుట్స్టాండింగ్గా ఉంది. సప్తసాగర్ దాటి సినిమాకి మీరు తీసుకున్న సినిమాటోగ్రఫర్ అయితే అంటే సముద్రం బ్యాక్డ్రాప్లో ఒక బ్లూ లేయర్ కనిపిస్తూ ఉంటుంది సినిమా అంతా కూడా. ఆ డెసిషన్ ఏంటి అంటే అది ఒక మూడ్లోకి తీసుకెళ్తూ ఉంటుంది, ఎవ్రీ సీన్ని ఒక పొయిటిక్గా చెప్తూ ఉంటుంది. వెరీ ఆర్టిస్టిక్గా అనిపించింది మాకు, ఒక కొత్త ఫీల్ కలిగింది, అంటే న్యూ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ టు ఆడియన్స్. అమేజింగ్. ఏం చెప్తారు అద్వైత గురించి?
Oh, he is just mind blowing. Because see, I keep saying this, that if you come to the set, Advaita and Hemant are not two different things. They are one. Because the way they shoot also, they keep sending love messages to each other. So Hemant is like, if he sees a good frame, he's like, I love you, Advaita, and he'll be looking at the camera and like, I love you, Hemant. So this love interaction is
two different bodies, one soul.
Yeah, two different souls, one body. Yes, correct. What you're saying, right? So that's how it is on the sets. And Hemant does that with everyone, I believe. Like when he's with me and her, he's like that with us also. And when he's with Charan, he's like that with Charan also. So that's the beauty of working with Hemant. And Hemant is that kind of filmmaker.
Writing a story is the different part. To understanding the story is the different part. For the artist, what is your process? Switch on to switch off Manu character.
Well, this process is something which I've been wondering myself, because I think it's very subconscious for me. It's just that luckily I don't do two films at a time. So
okay, focus on one.
Focus on one film. So once I get into the character, then and as I start shooting, more and more scenes, I start observing myself, that how I am acting, what is my body language in this, and I start understanding the character myself. And as I go deeper with every scene, that character starts growing inside me. Okay. And once I know the pulse of it, then switching on and switching off becomes easier for me.
It will take some time to understand every character.
Initially, first 5-10 days, I am still like I know the story, so I know the basic impulse of the character.
Because you looks different in every cinema. That is, we are surprising. In nowadays, we are seeing the body language is almost same for every hero in every film. But you are not like that. Your body language is different. Your accent is different. You become a new person for every movie. That is.
I become a new person in real life also when I'm doing each film. Yeah. In a sense, as we age, we grow as human beings. So we all are changing, to be frank. During your child,
somebody is not changing. They looks like same.
Yeah, maybe. But at least in my case, probably I see myself changing every 1 or 2 years. I see myself, and I know what are the differences which has come inside me. That sometimes it is good, sometimes it is bad, and I still work on it. If it is bad, then I work on it. If it is good, then I encourage it and work on it also.
What's your process, madam?
Sir, so I
because of lot of appreciations pouring on you after releasing this film. People, audience are taking to the homes your character.
Yeah, I think, I do lean a lot on the writing of it. Like, I wouldn't say I'm a very like intellectual actor or anything, but I have to write about the feeling that the character is going through. So if Priya is going through something difficult, say for example she's going through some sort of sadness, I need to write about that sadness and understand it from her perspective. So that doesn't mean I write like a diary entry as Priya. That's not it. I'll write as Rukmini itself, but I ask questions about why does this feel so different? Why does this, what is this sadness reminding her of? Is there something in her past that, you know, it's reminding her of, or is there some difference? So I like to sort of explore the emotions of the character by writing it. I think a lot of actors do it. I think Rakshit does it in a very, perhaps in a very mental way, like that sort of thought happens for him in his mind itself. But for me, one more thing I like is after the film is over, we finished this film now, but I have that notebook. So I have all those feelings, all those questions, I have it all written down. So for me, writing works best.
సరే చరణ్ కంట్రిబ్యూషన్ గురించి ఏం చెప్తారు సార్? అంటే ఎవ్రీ లవ్ స్టోరీకి మ్యూజిక్ అండ్ సాంగ్స్ ఆర్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. వితౌట్ గుడ్ మ్యూజిక్ we can't sell love stories.
I mean, more than the love story, this film is a poetry. And as soon as it is a poetry, your background score and songs become very important, because that is what it defines the poetry to the common audience.
That is the music is the way. To get into the
it's the soul of the film.
Going to the story.
Right. I mean, cinema is an audio visual medium, and audio is the soul of the video, isn't it? And that's what defines what the film is. So Charan Raj is the major player, along with Raja Krishnan sir, who actually designed the sound along with him. And obviously, visually, Advaita has just killed it.
Sir, your stories and your ideas, sir, shines the Kannada film industry. We are getting more respect towards Kannada filmmakers because of these kind of stories, these kind of storylines. What is cinema to you, sir?
For me, cinema is life. Simply put,
thinking of stories, and on the paper it is a very simple story. When we saw the film, it looks like a
gigantic
poetry and it looks like a bigger than life.
No, I see. For me, being a filmmaker is a very responsible job, because as I told you before, that we are not here to teach something, but we are here to question. We are here to make you think, and we should never think that I am the only one. I'm the only person who is right and everybody should follow me. I have a perspective and I want to put it forward. You think, you have a perspective. Now with that perspective, you think about my perspective. Now that is the idea basically. And that is what every film should do. And also I believe that every film is kind of documentary for the future generation. Like 50 years down the line, people who don't know what the South India looked like, but there are films which they can watch and this film I can relate to it. I know this is probably the reality and this is how it is. If we only keep considering the, very commercial films, which is good for entertainment, but generation 50 years down the line shouldn't think that
these all are commercial films, sir. Charlie is the commercial film, this is the commercial film.
No, I mean, when I say commercial films, I'm saying, for example, 50 years down the line, people shouldn't think that everybody had a long machu in their hand and they should kill and people should just kick and people should just fall. I mean, that gives obviously they'll understand that this is a very fictional world, but there should be few films at least which should also tell that this is the world we were living in during this time.
మీరు కాన్షియస్ డెసిషన్ సార్, అంటే పార్ట్ 2 చేద్దామని ఎప్పుడు అనుకున్నారు?
So when we started, or when I listened to the story, it was one film. But as we started shooting and as we finished the first half shoot, that's when came and told me that this seems like we already shot one film. So for me as a producer, budget wise, he's only spent half the budget. So I told him that there's another half budget. You finish the the next film also. Then we'll see. We'll take a call, once everything is ready. So that's what we did finally. And when I saw the side A and side B both, I realized that this is two different films, because there are few essences which will lose if you try to constrain both the stories into one and make it into a 2.5 hour or 3 hours film. So that shouldn't be the case.
One side rustic jail life, other side poetic love story. You clubbed both the things like it becomes a poetry. How it will, two different lives, two different platforms, but you mix it like this is the real life. We are seeing the real life of Manu. We can't see Rakshit Shetty and Rukmini. How it will happen, sir?
Mainly because of Hemant Emrao, because he has imagined the film so well, and he has travelled with the character. Although we have played the character, probably he must have travelled with the character more than us. And also, his way of filmmaking is very different from the way I work actually, because for him, although he also knows the character in and out, as he starts seeing our performance, he also starts changing a few decisions. But he also starts understanding the Priya and Manu character more and more as he's filming the story. So he keeps saying that for me filmmaking is like a pottery. Like the pot has to give me something back, and then I give something back, better shape to the pot, and the pot has to speak to me again, and then I give it back. So that's a beautiful way to put it, the way he works.
He's very adaptable.
మీరు తెలుగు సినిమాలు చూస్తుంటారా? హ్యావ్ యూ వాచ్ తెలుగు మూవీస్?
Yeah, I've watched.
మీకు రీసెంట్ మూవీస్లో బాగా నచ్చినాయి? వాట్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ తెలుగు మూవీస్ డూ యూ లైక్?
I try to watch. I like love stories in general. So whatever love stories come out, I try and watch them. I've not had time recently because of work. I think the last love story I watched was Ante Sundaraniki, but I like that kind of.
మీరు అంటే మీ తెలుగు సినిమా చూస్తుంటారు కదా సార్? తెలుగు సినిమా చూస్తుంటారు అంటే ఇక్కడ వర్క్ చేసే ఆలోచనలు కానీ, ఇక్కడ ఏదైనా కథ రాసే ఆలోచనలు కానీ ఏమైనా ఉన్నాయి?
Very in a, I think, distant past, there was a film called Vedam. That is one of my favorite films in Telugu, because like 5 different characters coming, very niche film.
Allu Arjun,
yeah. And Allu Arjun especially, I mean, he's a wonderful actor. Yeah. But in that film, he's just mind blowing. Yeah, and Anushka Shetty, all of them. But in last 4 years, I have not watched too many films, not just Telugu, but
ఆ ఫిల్మ్ కూడా లైఫ్ గురించే ఉంటుంది.
Yeah. True.
ఏమైనా ఆలోచనలు ఉన్నాయా అంటే తెలుగులో కథ రాసి తెలుగులో యాక్ట్ చేసి?
In the sense, as a filmmaker, I think you need to know the nuance of the language very well to make a film. For me,
ఆఫ్టర్ అయినా ఒక 5 years తర్వాత
probably, yeah. Why not? And in a sense, see, Telugu has many filmmakers, and it has so many filmmakers that it doesn't need a new filmmaker. Kannada has a dearth of filmmakers. We need many more filmmakers. So there is no reason for me to leave that and come. And especially when the industry which has given me a platform to showcase my films when I was nothing. So for me, I find a few responsibility towards what gave me that platform to make films. So the day probably I find there are enough filmmakers now I can even if I do films in other languages, it's okay.
మీకు తెలుగు ఆడియన్స్తో కనెక్షన్ ఇక్కడ ఎస్టాబ్లిష్ అవుతుంది. మీ మూవీస్ అన్ని కొన్ని రీమేక్ అని డబ్ అవుతున్నాయి కదా, స్ట్రైట్ తెలుగు మూవీలో చూస్తే ఆ కనెక్షన్ స్ట్రాంగ్ అవుతుంది.
I understand. As an actor probably someday. Yeah. As an actor.
విష్ యూ ఆల్ ద బెస్ట్ సార్. అంటే మీరు కన్నడలో ఎలాంటి ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ అందించిందో అలాంటి ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ తెలుగులో కూడా అందుతుందని బలంగా నమ్ముతున్నాము. విష్ యూ ఆల్ ద బెస్ట్.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.